Hello, hello to all my small business owners out there eager to figure out the best use of their time and the best ROI for all their efforts. Today we're going to go ahead and talk about probably the best thing that you can do if you want to generate a piece of content that you can use over and over in so many different ways. We're going to talk about those different ways. The very best thing that you can do for your business is to blog. My name is Liz Jostis and I own Eli Rose Social Media, and I help small business owners just like you and independent entrepreneurs to go out there and do as best as they can to get as much as they can out of their online marketing. So I always say that the number one thing anyone can do for their small business is to blog, and that's usually meant with moans and groans, and I'm not a writer and I don't have time. So putting aside all the reasons why you don't want to blog or think you can't blog, I think it might be worthwhile to reframe the way you can utilize your blog posts. So one single blog post, while it might take longer to generate initially, you can use it again and again and again. You know, one of the challenges with social media, you need to be constantly putting out new content. You got to keep tweeting, you got to keep posting, you got to stay relevant. You have to engage with your customers. You have to put up engaging content. And you need to generate that content along with curate that content, and all that stuff takes time. You know, if you want to go ahead and run Facebook ads, that's awesome, because Facebook ads have a place and they have a purpose and they should be part of your strategy. You know, for some businesses, Google ads, same thing. They have their place, they can be proven to be effective, and they have a reason to use them. Your email marketing, even if you just do it once a month or you do it every time your store has a sale, it's still time that you have to put into generating that new email. And all of those pieces of content do serve a purpose and are part of your marketing mix. But the one thing is, what is the last time one single Facebook post, one tweet, one email newsletter was still driving traffic to your site and driving customers and potential customers to your site 6 months later, 1 year later, 3 years later, 5 years later? Yes, all of that is possible with your blog posts. Obviously, for those blog posts, you do want to go ahead and make sure you're optimizing for search, and that's a whole other conversation for another time, because that's the way that you can get that evergreen sort of juice out of all of your blog posts. So, one example for blogging and how you can utilize blogging. For every one blog post, it gives you new content to share on all of your social media sites. So you might write that one blog post to give your site SEO juice, to give people a reason to come back to your site and potentially check out your offerings, whether it's products or services you sell. And you also have new stuff now to share on social. So you can share it on every single social media platform that you might have. You can also utilize your blog posts to be content for your newsletter. So boom, suddenly you don't have to write a whole brand new email newsletter for this month. And you can utilize that one blog post for your Facebook ads to drive traffic to your site, to maybe build up that custom website audience that you have that you're working on, through Facebook. And maybe you think that post has gotten old, or you don't want to, because you don't always have to just be sharing that article link. What you can do is then take little facts or little tips or little snippets of that one blog post and create quote images to use on social media. So there's like this one blog post that's the root of all of these different things that you can utilize for your marketing. So I think that's just a really important way to think about blogging, because one single blog post really has so very many purposes. And if you think about each of those other things, like, your Facebook ads, they're great, but once the ad stops, the money stops. Same thing with Google ads. That's over and done with. That email newsletter, once people read it, it goes in their trash. Those individual social media posts that you do, their shelf life is pretty short. So if you kind of think about all the energy and time that you're putting into all of those things versus how much it takes you to write one blog post and then how much you can use that blog post for, I think that kind of helps rebalance those scales a little bit so it doesn't seem like blog posts are so cumbersome and so time consuming and so much work to do, because that one blog post, covers like this whole big pile of things over here that you have to do individually. So, just something to think about. If you want blogging tips or strategies, please comment below or let me know. I would sing the praises of blogging all day long, and it's the thing that whenever I talk to clients, especially if they're telling me they're planning to blog, I say, oh my goodness, I'm so glad to hear that, because if there's one thing that I would need to say to people is, if you want to be successful, you really need to blog for your business. So those are my deep thoughts for this Tuesday, and you all have a good rest of your day. Bye.